Good evening and welcome back to 10th century Italy, where in the Duchy of Capua, Baron Gregory the Thin-Minded, our hero-ish, has just inherited the duchy from his father and is not very well prepared for this situation, not least because he's currently on campaign in Venice, because his father, Duke Alberic the Just, was allied with the King of Italy, and the King of Italy is currently engaged in a thing. Party, yes. No. War. What kind of war is it? It's an embargo war against the Grand Duchy of Venice. Or is it a Grand Duchy? I can't remember. Hello, Venice. No, that's not Venice. Apparently I can't click on the Most Serene Republic of Venice. Yes, that's better. Not a duchy, it's a Most Serene Republic. So Alberic joined him in this war, and then inconsiderately died, and the new Duke Gregory, doesn't have an alliance with the King of Italy, and so is now at the head of an army which is unaccountably standing around in Venice. I think the best approach to this is going to be for Duke Gregory to get himself an alliance with the King of Italy, because it's going to be such a hassle getting all those troops out of Venice again, because the only way into and out of Venice is by sea. So I think while they're there, they may as well make something of it, and in order to do that, we need to be at war with Venice. So let us find the King of Italy. Is my right mouse button stoated? No. I've just got an army selected, and therefore no, I've just managed to. I'm going to wonder whether this is the thing that Simon suggested, and I've just confused all of my modifier keys. Does it work any better now? That's better. Yes. Right. So, the King of Italy. He's not currently in favour of an alliance, though. Maybe I have a vague feeling I need to wait a bit, or possibly organise some other things first. Because I have slightly cheatily loaded up this game earlier in the weekend to try to work out roughly what I needed to do as this brand new Duke. And I thought I did have a sensible way to get an alliance with Italy, so probably I still have a sensible way to get an alliance with Italy, and I just need to find it. Yes, please.
I don't know where you left your mug.
There. I mean, I'd like tea, but I would also like to witter on the stream and not randomly vanish at people. So, let us go through Duke Gregory's current problems. First, his wife. His wife hates him, he hates his wife. He has imprisoned his wife, presumably with some good reason, though I don't actually know what. Let's just check that he doesn't have a tyranny. No one else seems to hate him for imprisoning his wife, so we must assume he had a good reason for it. She's kind of alright in terms of stats. I mean, her diplomacy would be awesome were it not for the fact that she's in a dungeon, which kind of puts a crimp on one's diplomacy. On the other hand, it's not like Duke Gregory has a shortage of diplomacy, because one of Duke Gregory's other problems is that he has a martial score of 4. Another of his problems is that he has a stewardship score of 9, which is also pretty terrible. To be fair, most of Gregory's Gremislava's hatred of her husband doesn't come from the fact that he just imprisoned her. He is apparently also her rival. Which is, she has apparently grievously offended him. So yes. One of his other problems is he has a terrible martial score. He has a fairly terrible stewardship score, which is why he's currently 3 over his domain size limit. He also has a mostly empty council, but I think that can probably be fixed fairly trivially. And is 2 commanders down. And he's on campaign in Venice. So, which of these can we fix? So, I kind of suspect that improving relations with his wife is not going to work. But conveniently, we do have the execute imprisoned button.
You might be a tyrant, though.
No, that's the interesting thing. Since Duchess Gremislava is so insignificant, no one will care.
Yeah.
The execution will cost 20 piety, but, that's cheap. So I think we need to dispatch his current wife, find him a wife who can fix up his grievous shortcomings in martial and particularly stewardship, because the stewardship that's used to set the domain limit is unaffected by the steward's stewardship. It's only the character and his wife, and since we can't easily fix his stewardship, we need to get him a wife with decent stewardship, unlike this one. And preferably a wife who doesn't hate him as well. At age 43, your wife Gremislava was executed by Duke Gregory of Capua, who is you. I think it's more. At age 43, your wife was executed by you. So, I do actually know who I'm going to choose as a wife, because I had a quick explore to make sure I could find someone decent. I hope she still exists in this timeline. I haven't done pause, so in both cases no actual time has passed, which might help the random number generator not to screw things up for me. So we obviously need a woman within diplomatic range who is not married. And we want to sort by stewardship.
Within diplomatic range means basically like within shouting distance.
Yeah.
Except that you shout by sending people back and forth.
Yes. So essentially, I don't think I can request marriage from anyone outside diplomatic range.
Indeed. I mean,
So-
you can't declare war on them, basically can't do anything much with them.
Declaring war, you think would be done in their undiplomatic range.
Yeah, but mostly that means that they're so far away you don't even know they exist. Like, maybe you've heard that China exists, but you have no fucking clue who is emperor, where their capital is, and how you would even go about getting to the point of sending them a thing that says, yo dude, I'm declaring war.
So there's an obvious possibility here, except that she isn't, for reasons we'll shortly come to. Princess Khadija of the Ikhshidid Sultanate, who has 21 stewardship, 10 martial, 1 diplomacy, but that's fine. But unfortunately, Princess Khadija will not consider offers from infidels. And as far as I can see, this is general, and so actually we need to restrict ourselves to Christians. Because I tried a few others as well. So Inesh looks all right, but she does have rather poor martial. And it turns out, though, actually, now that I look at it, I don't want any of them. I quite like the look of Shuan, but sadly it turns out though actually I could invite her to court, that she will not join us because we're unlikely to have children. This is because Duke Gregory, among his other traits, is celibate, which makes him essentially infertile. So she would actually join my court if I asked her. And then I could probably force her to marry me. But looking slightly further down the list, I do rather like the look of Julia. 16 stewardship, 14 martial, 10 diplomacy. And she's 51, so she doesn't care whether we're going to have children or not. Or whether I'm going to have children. So my inclination is to bring Julia, currently Spy Master of Moncada, and make her my second wife. And she will accept because she likes me, and yeah, there is a slight problem. I'm going to lose 300 prestige for this, and I already have minus 98 prestige. This gives me a random non-aggression pact, but mostly it gives me a pile of useful attributes. So let's propose to marry her. So while we're waiting for her to arrive, I'm kind of hoping that we can... Let's get ourselves a decent council, actually. So Edgefrith is still kicking around. He was a fine Chancellor. Let's reappoint him as Chancellor. Arnold is still kicking around. He was a fine Marshal. Let us reappoint him as Marshal. Werner is a tolerable steward. We might see if we can invite someone better. So this time we want join court, yes, gender, men. Sort by stewardship, descending. Okay, the best we could get is Voinomir, who has a stewardship of 16, and Werner has a stewardship of 16, so Werner it is. So now we have a decent court, which once those have been properly appointed will crank up my state stewardship a bit. So there is another thing that we can do to deal with our rather terrible domain limit, which is to create a second duchy, because you get a bonus of 1 to domain limit for having 2 duchies, or rather to acquire a second duchy by some means. So one way we could do it is to create the Duchy of Majorca, which covers these islands over here. I think that's probably what I want to do. But there is another interesting thing, which is that until fairly recently, Benevento was a tributary of Italy, and Salerno was a tributary of the Byzantine Empire. But I think that tributary relationships like cardinals are a bit vestigial in that they exist in the game history, but because I haven't got the DLC that enables them, no new ones can be created. And it looks like there has been a succession, and there is a new Duchess of Salerno who controls both Salerno and Benevento, and is not a tributary of either the Byzantine Empire or Italy. So I could try to take that duchy off her, but that would involve fabricating a claim and then successfully prosecuting the war, and it would involve fabricating a duchy claim, which is quite slow anyway. So my current feeling is that I don't want to wait that long to get my extra point of domain limit. So I think what I want to do is to create the Duchy of Majorca, which will cost me 175 gold, but I have got 175 gold, and then some. And it will gain me 200 prestige, which will somewhat make up for the prestige loss I'm going to get from marrying Julia. So I think I'm going to create this duchy. And now my domain limit is actually 6, because I get a boost of 1 for being a Great Duke, i.e. having 2 duchies. So I think that's everything I can do now, since I suppose I could see... I think I need to wait a day for my... state diplomacy to increase. And generally for the things I've just attempted to do to happen. I suppose I might be able to find something for my council to do, but let's not do that until, because if I send them off to do something, they'll then get tied up in it for 3 months or whatever the time limit is, and I really want to want to make sure they're doing what I want, and we don't quite know where everything's going to go yet. So let's unpause and wait for my new wife to turn up. So I briefly got an offer from Pope Eugenius of a post seat on his council, and then he dropped dead. the offer promptly expired, and now I've got another offer, presumably from John the 13th. So we have a new pope. He is a detached priest, envious, proud, diligent, has fairly terrible attributes, and I hate him. Right. On the other hand, he's offering me the post of chancellor, and I can't see any reason not to. Nothing else. He'll pay me for it. I have become Duke of Majorca. I have become Chancellor for Johannes, and our holding in Venezia is under siege. I'm not sure it's actually our holding at the moment, you know. I don't think I'm not officially involved in this war yet. Right, my new wife hasn't yet turned up. Oh, I need to pick an ambition. That one I think is easy. We want to increase our martial score. The only important decision is go on a grand hunt, and I don't think that's quite the right thing to start with. My heir is unmarried. Yeah. Oh, yes. I haven't even started on the disaster that is my succession. So, my heir is young Alberic, named after his grandfather, who is 16 years old, and in many respects more of a disaster than I am. He has 7 points of stewardship to my 9. He has 1 point of martial to my 4. Oops, that's too many back buttons. Only his learning is at least better than mine, but that's basically the most useless stat as a ruler. On the other hand, his little brother Guido... Was it Guido? Yes, I think it was his little brother Guido. Gregory is too young really for us to be clear what he's going to turn into. But his little brother Guido looks much more sensibly balanced for a ruler. I mean, he's only 8, but he has 2 diplomacy and 6 martial and 3 stewardship, which seems more what I want. In particular, personal martial score is nice to have. because that's what the troops you get from your domain are controlled by. So if I can come up with a way to get Guido to inherit in place of young Alberic, that would be good. But, yeah, don't yet know how to do that. Like, I can murder Alberic or something like that, but I might possibly want to wait until Guido comes of age. I don't think I can just declare Alberic to be the successor to one of my vassal bishoprics. Yes, Alberic is not one of the people I can nominate because he's my primary heir. So, yes, this may require a bit more cleverness. It may require changing the law, because once I've been ruling for 10 years, which will be about when Guido comes of age, I would be able to switch to elective gavelkind. And that would then give me some control over who my primary heir is. And then I might be able to shuffle all of the non-primary heirs off into bishoprics. We'll see. So we're still waiting for the new wife to turn up, aren't we? There is another thing that I want to do to try to increase my domain limit, which is to push to high centralisation, but we haven't got the technology for that yet. We need legalism 3, which is a little way off. We've got quite a lot of cultural advances points, and I'll probably I might set my court chaplain to getting more of them, but on the other hand I also want him converting. We've still got a couple of provinces. I think we've still got one Muslim province that we might want to convert, so might want to leave him out there for now. Anyway, wait for the new wife to turn up. Right. Julia and Duke Gregory are getting married. We can collect a royal aid duty to pay for the ceremonies, gain 106 gold, or no, people respect wealth, gain 100 prestige. Let's see, we currently gain prestige at a rate of 4.84 a month, and gold at a rate of a net of 13 a month. So that suggests to me that I should probably go for the prestige, since the amount of gold and the amount of prestige are about the same. Also, like, my prestige is currently minus 198. Yes, accept our suggestion that Gregory and Julia get married. And so now we have my wife Julia, who, if we allow another day to pass so she gets her proper title, is Duchess Julia of Capua. Right, that's bumped up my domain size limit to 7. Because I get a stewardship bonus of 2, because I have a stewardship of 9 and she has a stewardship of 16. We also have a pretty solid state stewardship now, and frankly terrifying state diplomacy. So my hope now is that we've got so much state diplomacy that the King of Italy will want to give us an alliance. Yes! So let's offer him an alliance. And then that should then allow us to rejoin his war. And then I think we can tidy things up. Do I want to get little Alberic married? I mean, if I'm heading for elective gavelkind, then Alberic might well just turn out to be marriage fodder to some foreign princess. At which point maybe we actually want to save him until we know what we're doing with him. So I think I'm not worried about Alberic being unmarried at this stage. Yes, titles will all explode all over the place. I hope I'll live long enough to fix that. So let us try to fill in some of our missing people. Let's appoint our least happy vassal as master of the hunt. And we need to find a couple of commanders, which probably mostly just means finding the commanders I already have. Well, it should do, but oh no, because we've already got some good ones. So these are more like honorary commanderships, because really we only really need two or three commanders at this size of realm. So I think slightly perverse. No, he's a scholar. That's the wrong one. Somewhere in here, don't we have an administrator? So we have an administrator. He has martial skill of 2, but administrator has some of the benefits of organizer. So I think perversely I'm going to appoint the terrible Bishop Imone of Aquino as a commander, just for marching troops around slightly faster. So now let's organise this a bit. I should probably ban myself from leading troops because I'm so terrible. So Daniel is the obvious person to have in the centre. Radboat on that side, and let's stick Arnold on the other side. Right, and now let's wait for that alliance to come through from Italy. Yeah, everyone, the popes keep trying to institute the limited crown authority law. I don't think I want it. You want to appoint me to a position of commander? Honestly, I'm slightly scared that I will just get randomly killed in battle. Decline.
Also, that seems like, if they know you're terrible at martial, what's their real plan?
Yeah, there is the slight thing that I was thinking that one of the ways I might kill little Alberic was to make him a commander and send him on doomed missions. So, I don't...
Well, I was thinking of something where you were not the intended victim, more like, we actually don't want to win this war, but we want to be able to claim we did our best or collect on the insurance or something.
Yes.
No one insures wars. That's a silly thing to do.
Right, and now I can offer to join Lothair's embargo war on... So my hope is that I can get some of that money that he has, though frankly the prestige would not be bad either. I know, but I don't get any prestige. It would just be money. But I hope that as part of this, I will get a portion of his gains from the war. I find it kind of amusing that the King of Italy is not Italian. Let our enemies tremble. Right. So now we're helping with this. So that's excellent. I have inherited my father's contribution to this war. So I already have 23% contribution. So that was definitely worth rejoining. So now I think things are reasonably stable. We're not expecting any more replies to our diplomatic WAS names. So what should we be doing with our council? So I think I noticed last time Foggia now has an alliance with the Grand Prince of Hungary, where Salerno doesn't have any alliances. So I think if I'm going to start fabricating claims on things, it should probably be on one of the counties of Salerno rather than on Foggia. So I think we'll send Count Edgefrith to Benevento. Slightly deliberately Benevento and not Salerno, because I don't really want to claim on the duchy. Because then I'd have 3 duchies, and 3 duchies would be an extravagance. There's no great benefit to having 3 duchies.
But even more of an inheritance.
Yeah, I mean, we're just... I mean, my hope is that I will arrange to only have 1 heir again. That everyone else will mysteriously have either gone into the military and got killed or gone into the church. Possibly even both. So yes, my marshal is currently leading troops. My steward may as well be researching economy tech in my capital. So one question is, do we change any of our laws? Because I want to get high centralisation, and if I make an obligation law change, then that will be locked out for 10 years. But on the other hand, I can't actually change centralisation yet, because I need like another 70 odd legalism, cultural advance points. So we're gaining those at a rate of 1 per month. I assume that's per month. I wish this user interface was clearer about which things are per month and which things are per year. So that means it'll take about 70 months, which is less than 10 years, but not a lot less than 10 years. And so what do I want to change here? What I was mostly thinking is that it seems a bit silly annoying my vassals so much when I get so little from them. Like, under the current configuration, I get 16 troops from the bishopric of Narni, and in return, actually, bishoprics aren't too bad. But like, if I could get plus 20 opinion from every bishop, from that bishop, in return for losing those 16 troops. And that feels like a good thing, because in particular, we want bishops to like me, so they pay their taxes to me and not to the Pope. Obviously, I then pay taxes to the Pope, I think, but actually, I'm not sure I do. I can't currently see the obligation laws of the papacy. No, say that I pay no taxes to the Pope. So, like, it's quite tempting to use to now make a first law change and then accept we're going to have to wait 10 years to get that extra point of thing, since we're probably going to have to wait 7 years anyway. Should just check Does our natural increase in legalism help us at all? 2.1 per year. Yeah. Oh. But what units is that in? When you say 2.1, that's not even... No, I'm currently on 2.1, and we have a 21%, which is a bit confusing, chance to increase by 0.1, and we need to increase by 0.9. So that's going to be 5 years for each 0.1, so that's going to be 45 years, yeah. So I think I make make a law change now. There's a question of whether I do it instead, make some change to the city laws. Let's save that for now and see how things settle, whereas I'm pretty sure I want to set church levies to minimum. I mean, it only reduces them from 60% to 50%. Hang on, I thought last time I said that was plus 20. Is something else plus 20? Am I an idiot? Oh, right, it would be plus 20 if I turned off taxation, which I'm obviously not going to do. Well, still, plus 10's nice. So let's go for minimum. Oh, no, hang on. What? What's going on here? Why can't I change that? That's ducal laws of Capua, obligation. Does it turn out that after all of this careful calculation, I'm not allowed to change this? Because, actually, those are inherited from the papacy. How irritating. Well, let's stop doing any calculation then. Oh, no, now I can press the buttons. There's a UI snafu going on here somewhere.
You didn't have your modifier keys down again.
No, well, I didn't touch any this time, so I don't think I let them back up. I think it was somehow accidentally showing me the laws for the papacy rather than the laws for... See, that's back to plus... Oh, no, because that's taxation. Plus 10, yes. I was, for some reason, showing the laws of the papacy, not the laws of Capua. Right, so, let us press that button. Expected to provide a small amount of troops. Church vassal opinion plus 10. Clergy vassal max levy minus 50%, i.e. 50% of what they could be. 50% less than 100%.
So at 8 rather than 16 or something?
Well, no, 16 is what they get at minus 40%. So
Okay.
it takes it down from 16 to like 12 or something. Right, so, and then in 10 years' time, I will look at reducing centralisation. So there is a hostile Venetian army over there, but since it can't get onto the island and we can't get off, right, we now have minimal church levies, which should mean that all of my church-shaped vassals are comprehensively in my favour. I mean, to be fair, they all hate the Pope because the Pope's terrible.
Oh yeah, there was a sudden change of Pope. How terrible is this new Pope?
Diplomacy 5, Martial 1. His learning is at least 10, which is vaguely decent. He is envious and proud. And a detached priest. And my opinion... His opinion... Hang on, that's... His opinion of me is fairly poor, and my opinion of him is, as I recall, worse.
But he still invited you to be a chancellor.
Yes, and a commander, mind. Well, I have a diplomacy of score of 19. I am a really good chancellor.
The fact that he doesn't like you doesn't make the job yet.
Yes. So I should also fix up the fact that I am still over my vassal limit, and while I hope to be able to correct that, to increase my vassal limit in 10 years' time, that's quite a long way off. So I can't grant my wife a landed title, sadly, because she is someone we can be pretty sure won't surprisingly have children. For many reasons. All of my council who are actually 50... Oh no, sorry, he's 31. I thought I read the wrong line. Right, what I want is a preferably about 55-year-old... oh, I don't have a cupbearer. Let's give myself a cupbearer. Follow the usual approach of appointing someone whose opinion of me is poor. I'm slightly worried that my spy master only has an opinion of me of 36. So let's make him cupbearer, which I'm sure will help.
Well, be +5. Don't make him your court jester. You will live to regret it.
I think as a duke I don't have a court jester.
Oh, good. In that case, you might actually live to regret it, as opposed to the worst case scenario here with your spy master, which is you don't live to regret it. Because you can stab in the kidneys.
I mean, he does only have 15. So none of my council seem like good people to give a spare county to. I mean, I could make the Pope like me more by giving him back Tusculum, but that just seems like giving in. So, yeah, we don't have anyone in our court that I really want to grant a county to. So let's find a count level vassal who has decent martial. And, like, our count level vassals are all ancient anyway, deliberately. Got 10. Six. 1. Right, so let's grant Count Carlos another county. Yeah, that seems sensible. So I've already granted out all of the, indeed to him, the only county in de jure Sicily that I control that isn't part of my capital duchy. So we'll grant him Orbitello. If we can. Maybe I've already granted out Orbitello. We'll have Orvieto then. Or I could just grant him the barony of Tusculum, which is less valuable. So I don't have Tusculum. That is sensible, isn't it? I think it is. Right. So now I'm inside my domain limit, which should do something for my... which means I can, at least in theory, raise 3009 troops of my own. We've almost finished besieging everything in Venice. Right, now what are you going to do, Italy? You've got 78% war score. But all of your troops are in Venice. There are 3,000 troops sitting on your territory, enemy troops sitting on your territory, which is not quite enough for me to just... Alright, you're raising some ships, are you? Okay, I'll join you. How many of my troops are there here? 1,600. Which means I need 17 ships. That gets me 5 ships. So they're going to have to come from this side, aren't they? Okay, we apparently don't have any. We have currently no galleys in Capua. Actually, this is, let's just raise all of our fleets and then dismiss enough to get them out of the way. Raise all the domain fleets. And we need a total of 17. That's 16, that's not 17. Oh well. So add that one. Send all of those to the Gulf of Venice. Dismiss that one. We might have accidentally raised some elsewhere. No, that looks like it's all. Oh, we don't need to do that. King Lothair of Italy won. Well, actually we do, because now we need to get our troops home. That doesn't seem to have gained us any money, I don't think. Oh well.
Well, it turned out the bank was completely empty after the war.
Or possibly King Lothair's just kept it all. So I had been thinking that in our quest to take over all the islands of the Mediterranean, we might want to take a holy war to Crete, which is currently in... oh, we should be careful about that. Currently in Muslim control. But the rules on holy wars say you can only declare them up to 2 sea areas away, which actually means based on some experiments, that you must have a land area that abuts a sea area that abuts a sea area that abuts the target. Which, if we're targeting Crete, means we have to have something abutting that area or that area or that area. Crete directly abuts that one, so we could have something abutting that area. But that really doesn't help. It doesn't quite reach Italy. The boundary is like out to here of places you can holy war Crete from. So even if we got some bits of southern Italy, we wouldn't be able to reach Crete. We'd have to do it we'd have to get some land out of actually Greek bits of the Byzantine Empire, which, yeah, I'm not sure that's practical. So Guido is the kid whom I'm kind of grooming to be my successor. So we can make him gluttonous, which is -2 stewardship. No. 50% chance of temperate and 50% chance of gluttonous. We would like temperate. Or 5% 5 piety for me, and only a 20% chance that he loses gluttonous. Because actually he has just automatically gained it, despite what the buttons say. So we'll try to talk to him about moderation. Yes! We have a temperate son. Curiously, all the bishops really like me reducing their levy obligations. Judice Celestinu of Olgiastra. I'm still watching these random people in Sardinia. I could perhaps stop. Right. I thought those were only 19 fleets when they set out. Where's the other ship come from? Right, you lot, get onto the ships. Oh, Violante is of legal age. Isn't she meant to be marrying someone? If she isn't, shouldn't she be? So my little sister Violante, 20 years younger than me. Alright, she is betrothed to Prince Alberic of Italy, but he's only 12. Right, that makes sense.
Too many Alberics.
Yeah, well, the previous Alberic was quite famous, I think. And then bring those fleets ashore in Chieti. Dismiss the fleet. Dismiss the soldiers. And now we can wait for our levies to recover a bit, though they're not doing too badly, really. So my marshal is not currently doing anything. So he may as well research military tech in the capital. Though I am considering moving my capital to Napoli in due course. So Francesca di Verona and Michael von Schwarz have eloped together. They're both deceitful, which I suppose kind of fits. So we can capture them and either imprison them or banish them, or we can lose some prestige, not much mind, and accept their marriage. I don't think either of them is someone I really care about. Meh. Order them seized. Right, they're both imprisoned. Well, that probably means I can now ransom them for some money. No, I can't. I can banish them or leave them there. Or indeed execute them, but that does seem a bit extravagant. So banishment doesn't have much effect except to like actually banish them. Execution pisses everyone off because it's tyrannical. Releasing has relatively little consequence other than releasing them. Well, I mean, I don't think there's much win to anything other than releasing my friend from prison. Also, that gets me some points of piety. So by imprisoning them and then immediately releasing them, that's much better than accepting their marriage. I get a load of piety from releasing them rather than losing prestige. So, what's going on around us then? The Holy Roman Emperor is currently called Zenon, and has 7,000 troops, and is, as usual, dealing with the Byzantine revolt. Sorry, the Byzantine Empire. Did I say the Holy Roman Emperor?
It's Xenon 2.
He is, in fact, called Xenon 2, yes. King Heinrich of Germany is surprisingly ill-disposed towards me, but I think we've kind of lost our various marriage ties with Germany. Possibly I need to get some more. But, like, his son is already married to Lucia di Spoleto. Possibly we could find someone. Maybe we should wait for him to grow up a little bit, but maybe we want to provide. Yeah, but the thing isn't Germany elective? So, like, so I don't think there's much benefit in betrothing someone to the king's grandson. Now thinking maybe I want. If I take another county on Sardinia, then that would get us enough to have a duchy, to create the Duchy of Sardinia, but that which would then have the advantage that we get de jure claims over the last two counties. But on the other hand, it would end us up with three duchies, which I'm slightly reluctant to do. So what? Presumably Francesca is still kicking around in my court then. Where is Francesca di Verona hiding? There she is, yes. And she likes me more now that I've let her out of prison again. Because I get a +10 for being merciful.
People seem remarkably unprone to holding grudges that you threw them in prison in the first place.
Well, it was a perfectly justified imprisonment.
Even so, it wouldn't leave me in a good mood.
I mean, they still have a -15 of grumpiness, which I think comes from my having thrown them in prison in the first place. We could hold a summer fair, I suppose. I don't think the win is worth the money. I want more money. I want to build things. Actually, I've got enough money to build the first level of Castle Town in Monte Cassino, so I should do that. So that will get us more money. We're still in the situation where we have a new administration penalty in Napoli. I think that's from when Alberic chased his brother out. And I'd like to build another castle, but that's going to cost me quite a bit. But, like, my annual income is 219 gold, which isn't bad. Was that the same brother he threw at the enemy? I can't remember. I could not help but overhear a stable master and a courtier's animated discussion. Something about a horse and payment due today, but the courtier insisted on paying the stable master later that week. Argument between Marcella, my friend, and person, I think. No, I'm confusing Marcella and someone else. A different Di Verona. It was Francesca Di Verona, who's my friend. So she's Francesca's sister. Quite what all these Di Veronas are doing here. I think I've used Comitar as one of my counsel for a while. I should interfere. Well, apparently that was good for Marcella's opinion of me. Whatever. I don't think I care what Marcella's opinion of me is. So Cordoba still controls quite a large area over there. Italy has nibbled away a bit of Arles. There's the tiny Duchy of Hum. Which is independent of Serbia at the moment. Holy wars are probably available against this lot in Africa, but I'm kind of reluctant to expand into Africa. I don't know why. Oh, we have a little independent Duchy of Ragusa. Sorry, independent. Republic of Ragusa. Right, Alicia di Spoleto has come of age. Not has come of age, has reached the point where she needs a guardian. Oh, I should look at who's teaching Guido, shouldn't I? Idiot face. Go and do that in a moment. So... I mean, she's just going to make a decent wife for someone. So, one question is, do I have any vassals I really want to... Lots of people have fairly poor opinions of me, don't they? Those two both want the Duchy of Majorca, and I don't want to give it to them. I mean, he'd actually make a pretty good... He's got some fairly terrible traits, but on the other hand... Okay, I'm now confused by the UI again. I thought if I did that and then that... Assign Guardian, that's what I meant. Actually quite tempting to send him to their marshal. Not much diplomacy, but otherwise quite good. And like that gives him an increased opinion of me, which is probably helpful. At least will once he has agreed to that. I'm formerly an elector of the Byzantine Empire. You want more crown authority, do you? Well, I shall not give you it, just on the grounds that it would be good for you. Right, so that should mean that Giuseppe likes me a bit more. Burghers of Napoli are barely able to pay their taxes. So I can say it's absurd, which will annoy all of my things. I can... Oh, that's kind of interesting. This is a way to cause a vote on reducing taxes that I think I wouldn't usually be allowed to do for 10 years. But the problem is I don't want to reduce city taxes. If anything, I want to increase city taxes. Because I have high stewardship, I can bribe him, but I don't want to. That will cost money. I want to flatter and soothe him, and then increase city taxes. I can't actually. I think I need more much more legalism to do that. Oh, Amalfi is part of a Byzantine revolt, by which it appears to mean, Amalfi is the Byzantine revolt. Can't see any more highlighted counties there. His vassals are all baron level, so yes, I think Amalfi is currently in revolt against the Byzantine Empire. I mean, if this works, what's he aiming? What's his aim with this revolt? Oh right, he's trying to put Princess Stefania on the throne of the Byzantine Empire. I was kind of hoping that Amalfi might become independent, so then I could invade it, or at least work out whether I could come up with a sensible way to take over a merchant republic. But actually, they're just trying to put some random princess on the throne because that's the kind of thing you do in the Byzantine Empire. So if I were to betroth someone to the grandson of the King of Germany, like, say, my daughter, or another daughter, but let's go for the older one, that would not result in a non-aggression pact, and thus would almost certainly not enable me to get an alliance with Germany. Right, let's not bother doing that then. We already have an alliance with Italy. Would Arl like one of my daughters? Would it be useful to have an alliance with Arl? They're fairly small. It's not like I'm short of... Well, I'm a bit short of daughters, and I'm not going to get any more. Maybe we save them for... We can't save them that long, though. We probably need to organise something for Alberic as well. Oh yes, Guido. We needed to get him someone who would train him well. Though frankly, he seems to be doing pretty well despite being trained by me. But I'm pretty sure we can do better. So, within our realm, like, Alda looks like she should be fairly good. I'd kind of like... Well, we should possibly switch him to someone with a good education trait at the end of his education. But, like, Alda's about as good as it gets in... So we've got Alda 17, 18, 10, 9, 5. My wife is probably another good one. If we can find her. Julia. 10, 14, 16, which is kind of better in the really important things for rulers. See if the Pope has anyone good. No, sorry, I apparently need to select. A child first. Elio is pretty decent, but I think not as good as my wife. Nah. Let's just make my wife responsible for young Guido. I mean, if he comes out as Midas touch, that wouldn't exactly be a bad outcome. So, young Gregory currently being educated by Alberic. Well, that's a terrible idea. I mean, we don't know quite what Gregory is turning. It seems to be turning out boring, but I think we should also have him. I mean, yeah. Let's stick him under my mother just to see how it turns out. Alicia currently be... Oh yes, I sent her off to there in order to cheer him up. Maybe I should have... No, we'll stick with sending the boy, trying to get the boys useful and using the girls mostly for extra opinion and or alliance generation. Hurrah! We get some technology points. Who knows which? I'll have a look in a moment. Our knowledge of tolerance in Napoli increased to level 2. So you've got 260 of the required 313 points in legalism. Right, we can spend some military points. I mean, yeah, more taxes are nice. I wonder if we're in danger of... I think we can just let that one increase naturally. That's not very helpful for us. Well, we haven't got enough to actually enough points to get that one yet, though that's the one I'm kind of tempted by. There's a fair boost to castle tax by getting castle infrastructure as well. We'll leave that for now. Allow things to happen particular, because we're kind of waiting to have been ruling for 10 years, but that's going to take a while. First, Guido's going to come of age, and we'll see if he's actually a good ruler. Oh, I do like Roth and Temperate. That's quite a nice combination, I think. Why am I not being given feast? Oh, because I need 100 prestige to be able to hold a feast. Right. Well, let's hold a summer fair in the hope of that will give us a tiny boost to prestige, so that we come closer to being able to hold a feast. Because feasts are good. Well, I gained 10 piety from the mummers. Now up to -5 prestige. Are you offering me a role as... No, I still don't want to be your commander. I'm fairly sure that that's a fool's wasp name. Aha, we have a castle town in Monte Cassino. We have a monkey trainer. Performance went well until the one of the monkeys refused to ride on top of a pig. The trainer beat the monkey with a stick, which led the other monkeys to attack the trainer. Serves him right. Improve Mayor Jan's thing, or gain 5 prestige and lose 5 gold. Let's go for the prestige so that I can at least get up to 0 prestige. Meanwhile, Monte Cassino, my newly built castle, now has Castle Town, which is giving us +2 monthly income, which is nice. For 170 gold, we can upgrade to Castle Town level 2. Which will take a long time to build, but looks like being quite useful. Or we can start... let's get the Castle Town as high as we can, so we get the money. We like money. You have Michele von Schwarz, the younger, who is sickly. Or Michele, since he's Italian. Well, 10 more prestige for my summer fair. Still going to be a while before we can start holding feasts. Still not fully recovered my own levies. Oh yes, those two desire the Duchy of Majorca, which makes me think maybe I shouldn't have assigned them those counties. But they'll die eventually and I'll get them back. So, a waste of time, money, a waste of time, but oh so good it felt. The pleasures of life make everything feel less tiresome and more delightful. So at the moment I have pleasures in life hedonism, which gets me plus 0.05 monthly prestige, and plus 20% fertility, which is of no use at all when my fertility is set to minus 1,000%. So my options here are to lose that and instead get Sweet Temptation, which keeps the plus thing fertility, but gets me terrible temple vassal opinion. No. Or minus 20 fertility and plus 20 temple vassal opinion for staying strong. Well, we'll take that. Plus 20 temple vassal opinion is an excellent idea. Oh, the Pope's declaring wars. Pope Johannes the 13th has declared the Papal Byzantine Revolt embargo war on Belisarios of the Byzantine Empire. On the grounds that the Byzantine Revolt... Why didn't I think of that? Yes, I could probably have done that. Why didn't I think of that? Maybe I should think about embargo wars against the other people who control our trade posts. Because we definitely have them. I mean, it's mostly Amalfi. So if last time it looked like joining an embargo war was not very helpful. I mean, he gets a bunch of piety. Maybe I can get some piety, which would be nice. Let's offer to join his war anyway, because there's nothing much else going on. I feel that to the heroic Duke Gregory, peace be with you. Well, maybe. I gladly accept your offer of assistance in my war. But peace be with me. Let our enemies tremble, Pope Johannes the 13th. I'll only raise my own levies. And then we have the usual shipping dance, where it turns out I don't have enough of my own ships. Actually, that 7 there is probably enough, isn't it? Yes. You lot should be temporarily dismissed, because there's a bloody great army about to walk into you. I think the Pope's getting his troops together in Roma. Actually, can I bring those to Roma? Yes. Oh, extra technology points. They didn't land in legalism. Our economy is doing pretty well, though. Well, I think I still want to primarily buy cities and temples for the extra tax income at the moment. Danielle is the right one to have in the centre. I've accidentally got most of my commanders doing things other than commanding. Right, now let's try raising the remaining domain levies again. Right. Now my armies are just following the Pope's armies around. The Pope has far bigger armies than I do, partly because I haven't raised everything I have at my disposal, and possibly because the Pope's better at this than I am. Like, okay, the Pope has a hell of a lot of domain levies. Like, where did you get them all from, Pope? I suppose you have got the barony of Tivoli, and the various things in Roma. Okay, what now, Pope? Right, you've got war score 65 from occupying Amalfi. Alright, we can still besiege Sorrento and Ravello. I'm so annoyed that I didn't think of an embargo war against Amalfi. I would have got all the money the Pope's going to get out of this. Bishop Rolando of Cume claims that he would make a better court chaplain than Bishop Aimone. I mean, technically that's true. I mean, I don't see any reason not to.
Good night.
Let's now send the new court chaplain off to try to convert Minorca, which remains stubbornly Muslim. Annoyingly, I wasn't watching what happened when we won that. I don't think anything's gone pear-shaped, but nothing very interesting is happening. Right, let us disband those troops. I'll just check that my audio is actually going out. Yeah, I'm definitely sending some audio. I hope I haven't crashed the game by doing that. No, I haven't. Good. So, yes. So I think I didn't get a vast amount of money or prestige or piety out of that, but maybe someone else will have noticed whether I did. But now there are no trade posts all along the coast because we have driven Amalfi out of them. So what I want to see is, like, we have a bunch of right, I can't. So Genoa, by virtue of being a vassal state of King Lothair of Italy, I can't declare war on, and I have an alliance with Lothair anyway. This trade post, if I can work out how to mouse over one of these trade posts, maybe this one will be easier to find. It's controlled by Pecina. Let's switch to trade zone view. So that will probably make Pecina a bit easier to find. Maybe. It has quite a large sphere of influence, doesn't it? There's Pecina. Okay, I don't seem to get an option to... Yeah, again, that one's a vassal of someone else. And so I don't get the option to declare war on them. We'll keep holding some affairs. They're good for prestige. So... More mummers! Frightening small children. Come in, though, it'll annoy Count Giuseppe, because I'm too gregarious. Oh, yes, child needs guardian. Eugenia, my youngest daughter, I think. Yes. So I think I should send her off to one of my vassals for education. Let's cheer up Giuseppe some more, maybe. So Giuseppe is now up to 24 because I've entrusted 2 wards to him, though he does despise my gregariousness. So the jester who is insulting me I gain 5 prestige if I just tolerate this, or 10 prestige if I hurl some money at him. Let's hurl some money at him. Ooh. It was a mistake inviting the jumping Jews of Jerusalem to the summer fair. They're jumping at different rhythms despite the rhythmic twang of a harp. They tirelessly keep jumping, 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 until one of them loses his balance and falls towards his brothers, causing all of them to fall to the floor. Well, the end was fun. That's cheered up Count Giuseppe a bit, at least. Okay, we don't actually... Yes, I think Amalfi had a trade post there as well, which we raided. Right, 10 more prestige. Almost at the point. Maybe by winter we'll actually have enough prestige to hold a feast. Yeah, the Pope has quite a lot of money now. I do not have quite a lot of money because I keep spending it on improving my tax income. It should eventually be a useful thing to have done. Byzantine revolt is still ongoing. How's his war going? He's losing. Those two who sneakily ran off and got married have had yet more daughter. Oh, okay, we'll have a grand hunt in the hope of more prestige so that we can get... Oh, we've got enough prestige for that. Well, we'll have a grand hunt anyway. Gregory hasn't been on a grand hunt before. Ten piety for ending my horse's suffering. What are you doing, my Chancellor? You're meant to be fabricating me a claim on Benevento. Like, Salerno's going to turn out to have an alliance before we... Okay, hasn't. In fact, Foggia now no longer has a good alliance. My lack of hunting skill is becoming quite obvious. My court is talking about my failure in not-so-quiet voices. So I can blame my steward for this. No, sorry, claim my steward's success as my own, which will give him a slight grump at me, but only lose me 10 prestige. Or I admit my failure and lose 20 prestige. I think I want to claim his success as my own, in the hope that I get to hold a feast. But now I'm 4 prestige down. Ah, right, we're back up again. Fine. All is well. Sorry. Right, Monte Cassino. There will be boar meat soon, Pink Beast, don't worry. Monte Cassino, which is that castle. That's controlled by the actual Byzantine Empire, isn't it? I'd like to get the city of Gaeta back at some point. But the problem is it is controlled by the Byzantine Emperor, who has 8.73 thousand troops, and I don't think I want to go to war with the Byzantine Emperor for a city. Not when he's that strong. Oh yes, Monte Cassino, Monte Cassino. So we need more castle walls in order to upgrade the castle town, and we probably want castle walls anyway. So let's set some castle walls to building in Monte Cassino. So we have 214 money left over. There are a few things we could build in Aversa, but I think I want to save up for building another castle in Napoli, or possibly for the next level of castle town in Monte Cassino. Grand Hunt is over, 10 prestige. Hooray! It's feast time. No, I don't want to try to claim the Duchy of Swabia. No, feasts are an excellent way to lose money, but... Boar meat! No feast is complete without boar meat. Who will get the prestigious task of hunting the slaying the boars needed for the feast? Well, I think you should send young Alberic. I'm sure this will be fine and he won't accidentally die. Oh, apparently he didn't accidentally die. Lots of people are not coming this year. How's Guido turning out? Still pretty solid. I'd like to get him a bit more diplomacy, but we're doing fairly well there. Welcome to my feast. What's going on here? Are you at war? Are you at an interesting war? Someone else has a claim on Salerno. The Count of Apulia, who is just next door. Oh, we don't want that. Hey, would you like me to help you with this war? Like... I don't think your opinion of me is very high. No. Right, she's got a claim on my title and thus is unlikely to let me go into an alliance with her. Because I'm slightly worried that she may actually lose this and then she might well lose her... He has a claim on the entire duchy. There's a danger that she's going to lose this war, and then thus the entire duchy of Salerno will disappear into the Byzantine Empire, which would be unfortunate. I mean, like, the Byzantine Empire is occasionally very squishy, and so one of the important things is to spot the occasions when the Byzantine Empire has gone squishy. Okay, well, that was a very boring feast. So Is there anything interesting happening around us? Croatia appears to be in a bit of a mess. There's a Jezure war over Vukovar and a war for the whole of Croatia. The current guy only inherited it, so nothing very surprising there. Why can I now imprison... She's the leader of a plot. What plot is she the leader of? Can I look that up? Yes. She's trying to kill her own husband. I can join her plot to kill her husband. He is her husband, isn't he? Francesca di Verona. Oh no, she's not. She's trying to kill someone else. She's trying to kill her... She's trying to kill her husband's brother. Her brother-in-law. Possibly because her brother-in-law is heir to the county of Landeck. Though her husband's heir to the county of Innsbruck. So, like, yeah, I don't quite know what she's playing at here. She's my friend, though, so it seems kind of unfair to imprison her again. On the other hand, if I imprison her and then release her, do I get another load of piety for doing so? Alternatively, I could join her plot, but that doesn't seem like a sensible plan. I don't think there's any win in allowing the plot to succeed. So, if I ask to stop the plot, what happens? Presume this will give me a dialogue box. Yes. She would abandon the plot. But I think I want to try imprisoning her and then releasing her and seeing if that gets us another useful pile of bonuses. So does that now mean that the plot has ended? Yes. Let's give her a couple of days in the prison in order to make sure that she's properly imprisoned. So we're currently on 413 piety. And that gave us 5 piety, I think. Which isn't much, but like... You should surely not have that imprisoned penalty anymore. But so that was a fairly notional imprisonment, but it got me a bit more piety. No, still don't want the Duchy of Swabia. How's Salerno doing in her war? 0 war score still. Yes, I don't think that's going to save you if I ever do come after you. Bard arrived. Do I want to become cynical? More intrigue, less temple vassal opinion. Or do I want to do things that will cause Count Edgefrith to have an opinion? Edgefrith is kind. I'd quite like Edgefrith to like me more. Let's go for can stay as long as he likes. Right. Slightly more monthly piety, and Count Edgefrith likes me more because I was munificent. Also, damn it, Count Edgefrith has had a child. Because his previous wife that I arranged for him has died. You weren't meant to have children, Edgefrith. Curses. Oh, Venice has been chased out of somewhere. Don't think we need any more summer fairs for today. So what are we going to do? Ah, Prince Alberic has finally come of age. He is still heir to the Kingdom of Italy, so I think we still want this marriage. What are we going to do with Edgefrith? Julia has been really letting herself go of late. Well, let us apply some diplomacy. Less gluttony, please, Julia. Though, actually, yeah, stress relief, stewardship +1. Excellent, we like that. I mean, I don't like that she didn't take my advice, but an extra point of stewardship is nice to have anyway. The temptations are everywhere, the inviting glances, the luscious bodies. I've still got celibate. And the alluring fragrances. Will I not give in? Gaining 10 piety, or will I be free at last, gaining 10 prestige? I'm not sure it really matters. I want to gain martial. It seems in character to stick to piety, but her defence of her duchy seems to be going well. Some random courtier is of age. That's nice. Maybe I could be like turning these courtiers into useful people, but I already have the trait celibate. So if I take maybe later, do you think I lose celibate? I mean, I don't really care about it. Do I? It does get me church opinion and monthly piety. Like, I don't need any more children. Just in case I would otherwise lose it, I'll take that one. So we're still constructing castle walls in Monte Cassino, and the only other thing we want to construct is an entire new castle, which will of course push us over our domain limit again. Oh, there's a fight going on next door. That's looking pretty good for our side, insofar as we have a side, which is the side we want to invade. Meanwhile, the Byzantine Empire is busy besieging Amalfi, it looks like. How's your war going now? 32% in favour of Duchess Rotilda. If we could just get a claim, then we could stomp in and steal Benevento while she's not looking. More technology. Ooh, right. We could go on a grand hunt. Grand hunts are a bit iffy given my low martial, though. Let's temporarily turn off being told about going on grand hunts. So we can now get ourselves the next step of legalism. I mean, we don't actually need to get that, though. It only unlocks new laws. So we can use that when we finally want to activate the new law, which can't happen until 981. At which point we will also be able to switch to elective cavalcade. I would like to get more cities and temples, but I still need a small amount of extra economy points for that. So we'll just keep letting that tick over. Still waiting for my court chaplain to convert Minorca, and for my Chancellor to find a claim, and you're going to try to appoint me as commander, and I'm going to decline. Oh, go on, let's hold another feast. I like feasts. Let's continue sending young Alberic out hunting. Because if nothing else, he has a 10% chance of giving him 1 point of martial. Which will be good, because he only has 1 point of martial. I suppose if I went out, I might get 1 point of martial, which would also be good. But I also like the idea of wounding or killing Alberic. He got a point of martial! Hurrah! Okay, what? Oh, because that's Carthaginensis is the de jure kingdom encompassing I thought I paused. Encompassing the Balearic Islands. Hope we can have a good feast this time. Yes, yes, I've become friends with Giuseppe. Excellent. I no longer need to worry about my spy master. Indeed, I could probably withdraw those wards from him and send them somewhere else. Because the other half of Count Edgefrith would also benefit from being asked to educate some people. So what's going on with my children anyway? Let's have a quick look at them while we wait for that to come back. Guido is 12, right, he's not yet a problem. So we might want to start finding a potential wife for him. Might want to find a wife for Alberic. But he's Alberic. At some point we may end up seriously pissing off Count Edgefrith by murdering his son. Because I think I want to take Majorca, to prioritise making Majorca part of my domain now, because I own the duchy. And otherwise the people there desire the Duchy of Majorca, and we don't want them desiring the Duchy of Majorca. He at least doesn't manage to outlive his wife yet. Right, so Edgefrith should more or less like me now. So, what can we build in Monte Cassino? We can build the next level of Castle Town. Excellent. So how long... We've still got like 5 years till the law change. 981, yeah, a bit over 5 years. Probably means we can afford to spend some points here, but all of these are now expensive because they've all just ticked over into the next square. So while I could buy some noble customs, I'm kind of reluctant to do so. I think I want to get cities and temples here unless something good turns up. Because that's more tax from the things that give me lots of tax. We'll probably look at taking military advances if we get into another war. So she won her war. Amalfi is now back under the Byzantine Empire proper. The Byzantine Empire appears not to be in the process of falling apart again. They're engaged in a holy war for Antioch, and they have a truce with the Doge of Amalfi. Run time a bit faster because there's not much going on. Looks like Barcelona has managed to, that's a familiar name, is somewhat, so what holy wars are available here at the moment? Okay, there's still a bit of Barcelona that's not in. I don't really want to take on lumps of the mainland. Mainland seems like a bad place to be. I like my islands. So, your mother, Princess Alda, has asked you to consider her for the position of Chancellor on your council. Well, like, the thing is, Mother, that my current Chancellor has a higher diplomacy score than you. And he is also a landed vassal of me. So, no, sorry. A rather nettlesome neighbour keeps sending me envoys begging for money or demanding tribute. I feel rather confused about his arbitrary ways and I'm not sure what to do. Do I send him the roses or nail the envoys' hats to their heads? I think sending roses gets me Gardener, which kind of feels, given all of these virtues, quite appropriate. I think nailing envoys' hats to their heads is not the right thing for this Duke. Why am I not earning vast amounts of money? That's fine. Okay, he's not an interesting person. Bah! Raiders under Emir Yefton of the Hafsid Emirate have arrived to loot and pillage in my county of Capua. Stop it. I could raise a levy of 471 and give them a halfway competent. Well, I may not be able to give them halfway competent commanders immediately, but actually I can raise more levies than that, can't I? Because I can also raise another 225 from there. Yeah, let's just raise the levies in the local WAS name. I mean, that might make the siege run faster, but that's probably not. Yeah, they're not going to survive that. Bah! Count Giuseppe of Minorca has been arrested by the Duke of Edessa, who is presumably in charge of... yes, who is among other things in charge of... Constantinople. I'm going to need a new spy master. That gave me a tiny amount of prestige, an even tinier amount of piety, and hurt a few people. Right, pause. Also slow down time. Right, and they've now pissed off back to their boats. There's a revolt going on next door. Stefania of the Spalatin Revolt. Oh, they're fighting over the Duchy of Spoleto. Well then. So, do I have anyone who would be a halfway competent spy master? You can achieve 16 within my realm. We could invite Bran over from Connaught, who is ancient, but looks like he might otherwise be alright. Might want to find him a wife. And because he's a decent councillor, we might end up granting him some land. So let's find ourselves a nice 45-year-old or thereabouts. I mean, she's a pretty good age and is Italian, not that it makes much difference. I mean, it makes a little difference to me, except that, I mean, I suppose someone really useful might be a good person to use for educating people. But yeah, let's just go for the convenient 45-year-old. And then we can grant our new spy master Bran a wife, and that will make him happier. Hello, Nietzsche. Bran is coming from further away, so it'll take a little while longer to arrive. Hello, Bran. Right. Oops, no, that was the wrong sequence of buttons. Oh well. Bran, you are now my spy master. Bran, would you like to marry... I mean, I could marry you to my mother, it now turns out. Like, if I were ever to give you any land, she would actually be much better than Micha, who I apparently can't marry you to anyway. Am I confused and Micha was, like, married or something? Oh well. Yes, perverse though it might seem, Mother dear, would you like to marry Bran? Could even do it matrilineally, but would that be sensible? Let me just have a quick look around. So, Alda, oh, she's a bosonid, so I don't really want to cause more bosonids anyway. And anyway, they won't have any children. Who cares? She wants to be a spy master, but that's not going to happen. Not with a backstabbing skill of 9. That makes no difference to anything else, so we'll make it a standard marriage. Right, and so now his opinion of me is 47, because I fulfilled his marriage wish. Okay. Yes, it happens a lot. I generally assume that I don't need to worry about that. Yudo's still only 13. Law changes are in 981, which is still 5 years away. Oh, I need to send my spy master off to do something, don't I? Well, I think we'll do the standard thing of studying technology in Constantinople until something better turns up. Presumably Constantinople is completely full of spy masters studying technology, because in most respects it's the most advanced place. Like, who has the best legalism? Oh look, it's Constantinople. Tolerance, actually, rather curiously, the Arab world is slightly better at. Majesty. Yeah, okay, there's some good stuff over there, but I think that's probably out of range. Religious customs? Not quite. Yeah, you want somewhere different to that, I suppose. There's not everything is better in Constantinople. But an awful lot of things are. Oh, Giuseppe has apparently got out of prison again. Well, let's appoint him as cupbearer again then. He's not as good a spy master as our current one, though. He only has 15 intrigue versus 21? No, 19. No, spy master 21, yes. How's the money going? Oh, it's feast time again. Feast, feast. I mean, admittedly, I seem to be doing this every year at the moment, but not everyone comes, so... Oh, is that incoming raiding fleet by any chance? Looks like they're raiding someone else today. Oh yes, he got released. Unfortunately, while he was away, he got replaced as well. I presume that means he doesn't have an opinion malice for having been fired from my council. No, he does have a malice for having lost a ward, but... But he'll do. It might get us a claim on that county. I mean, I think the major benefit of feasts is occasionally getting new friends. Because Count Giuseppe, you've only just got out of somebody else's prison. Presumably executing him would be seen as tyrannical. Yes. Giuseppe, give me 70 gold. Then I'll let you out again. No one set up any trade posts on our territory recently. Possibly because the last time they did, we it's probably safe to start eating less. Yes, I have got a weak claim on the Duchy of Spoleto, but I'm also allied with Italy, and Italy's big and scary. So I'm preferring to head southwards, if only I could get the damned claims. Maybe I should see if I can... Now I'm a duke, actually. Maybe I should just have a quick look around neighbouring counties and see if I can find some claimants who might want to join my court. Well, no, they're all children. That's unhelpful. No claimants to that one. Ooh, maybe we could invite Zinga. And then... What's his marital and family situation? He does have 2 sons. So, like, if we did bring him in, he would probably manage to keep his dynasty in there for a bit at least, until we can find some excuse for getting rid of him. There's not much else is going on. Yeah, you can come to my court and we will see if we can do anything with you. So I'd kind of forgotten we could do this now that I'm a duke. Obviously, I don't want people with claims on duchies. But people with claims on individual counties might be quite useful. Alberic's advice was really the motivation I needed to get back in shape. That's nice. Right, how many... So was that all the people I invited to court? I think so. Do we get any indication of claimants here? I don't think so. So now... So I noticed this guy, whom we have... now have a casus belli for, claiming Foggia. Hang on, does this work? Am I terribly confused? Do I need to check the rules? If he's a courtier and I claim a county with him, won't he end up just being an independent count? I may need to be a bit cautious there. Yes, that's the problem, isn't it? You just look this up to check, but I think that's the case. Yes, if I hold a higher title and am of the same dynasty, which I don't, and I'm not the de jure liege, then he won't remain my vassal. Yes. But were he landed, then he would. But I don't have anything I want to give away just yet. So we should leave that for now while I ponder. Yes, I'd forgotten that. But it's still nice to have claimants kicking around in my court. Like, I'm going to build a new castle in Napoli at some point when I've got the money. Like, my monthly income is 20. What, you're offering to let me be a commander again, aren't you? Nope. Why do we get so little from Aversa? Because it's still got a new administration modifier, though admittedly so has Portici. Yes, Portici also gives us very little. When's that going to expire? 977. Oh, it's almost expired. Good. So I think I would only need to land one of my new arrivals with a barony, but like I still don't have a spare barony. I mean, I could even, in theory, I think, nominate him to a bishopric. Oh, except he's married. That might cause some trouble. Yeah, okay, I can't nominate him to a bishopric because he's married. Oh, hang on, I can nominate Bran. Bran's married to my mother. Okay, who's my claimant for Foggia then? Zinga. Oh, I can't nominate him to a bishopric because he's the wrong damn religion. Are all of our claimants of the wrong religion? I thought I gained a claimant on you. That's weird. Oh, he only has a weak claim, does he? And I can't use that. Yes, Stoats. Right. I should also pay attention to the strength of people's claims. You can tell I haven't done this for a while. Okay, well, let's then send Zinger a gift. And then ask him to convert to Catholicism. And then I can try to land him just by granting him a bishopric. Obviously, I can only get one of these, I think. Maybe he'll end up accidentally getting all four, which will be kind of embarrassing. But I can surely select someone else. They're still saving up for that castle, which will cost 741 gold at the moment. Oh dear. Aldabozonid has died. Well, then we need to reorganise some things. We no longer have a designated regent. I mean, that mostly wants to be like someone who will be a competent ruler, so decent marshal and stewardship. Giordano looks pretty decent, actually. Or my steward. Or my wife. My wife will do nicely. You need a new cupbearer. Well, let's find an unhappy vassal. Give him the job. Actually, maybe I didn't need to bother with him. Bran no longer wants to get married again, which is nice. But Gregory, my third son, is in need of a new guardian. So I think mostly we're trying to breed these guys into something useful. So my wife is excellent in many ways. Yeah, I think she'll do. So yes, we have 4 years until we can change the law. My Spymaster is my friend, aren't they? Oh no, I appointed a new Spymaster, didn't I? So, do I get more prestige but a danger of becoming ill? No, let's help get Francesca to help. $700 and something, isn't it? Yes. That will reduce the cost of building things a bit. We could probably apply that. It is rumoured that a great warrior from the distant east is currently passing through Roma. He is said to have taken part in 100 battles or more, and his legendary fighting skills are supposedly without peer. Perhaps he could be persuaded to pass some of his knowledge on to you. Yes! Also, we should get some construction speed, I think. So that, and reduce construction cost. So, what are you talking about? Poison? You must be joking. This stew tastes fine. Maybe it wants a bit more salt, but there's nothing wrong with it. Francesca dismissed my concerns, leaving me feeling forlorn and scared for my life. Gregory the Thin-Minded gains the trait paranoid. Intrigue +2, diplomacy -1. Well, that's not so bad. Yeah, so what I was going to do was see whether... So that construction actually takes me up from... Slightly reduces the cost of building things and makes them slightly faster. It's only by like 3%. That seems like the kind of thing that's worth having, though, since I'm about to spend more money. Don't know, let's change that number, though. The Croatian-Hungarian war has ended in a way that I don't really care about. And there's a load of mucking around going on over there. Yeah, people keep trying to get claims on my titles. They never do anything with them, though. I mean, that just means he's turned it into an actual claim, but... Oh, it's midnight. I should stop soon. Let's hold a feast, though. Oh, Amalfi has started establishing trade posts again. Sadly, Amalfi is now a solid part of the Byzantine Empire, so we can't do anything about this. Guido, I have to be a bit careful of Guido in the next few years. Now, I don't want Guido to have anything happen to him. Let's send out Arnold. Feast. Well, that's good. A letter arrived from my nettlesome neighbour. He was most grateful and deeply touched by the red roses I sent him. I think this one ends me up getting gardener, which is nice. I have a friend. Count Carlos has become my friend. Excellent. How has my... Oh, have I gone and accidentally sent her... She's accidentally turned Anglo-Saxon. Eugenia Gregory's daughter. I mean, I don't know that I was intending her to accidentally become Anglo-Saxon. I think the message about that just fell off the bottom of the thing, telling me all of the prestige consequences and opinion consequences. But will he be a good person to raise her? Not particularly. I mean, she might turn back to being Italian. Though I don't know that he's really got the traits to do that. So should we be looking for some husbands for these two? I've got a solid alliance with Italy. One approach might be to try to get some of the sub-realms of Italy. It looks like they've got a new king over there. So possibly we could get Germany back on our side. Like little Heinrich could be betrothed to one of our daughters. That would not get us a non-aggression pact, though. Am I confused? Like, he's the king's son. Why would that not get us a non-aggression pact? I'm also going like, she's Queen Lucia di Spoleto. Why on earth do you not already have a non-aggression pact with me? Maybe you do. No, I can't form an alliance because you don't have a non-aggression pact. And I can't get a non-aggression pact, and he won't even give me a non-aggression pact if I offer my daughter to one of your sons. Humph. Anyone else? Hey, oh. That would get me a non-aggression pact. Right, let us come to an arrangement with Arl. Presumably you would totally turn down at that because he's your heir, yes. So I can get the minor trait of gardener for +2 diplomacy, or I can be a proper gardener for +2 stewardship, yes, like stewardship, and +2 10 same trait opinion. Yep, we'll take gardener. Right, and that's gained us 1 point of domain size. Hooray for gardening. It means I can own another castle. Now we just need the money to build it. 741 gold required. So we have the best castle town we can currently build in Monte Cassino. Similarly have a level 3 castle town in Teano. In Aversa we still don't have the best possible castle town. But I think now that I've got the domain space, I should save up for actually buying an entire new castle. But it is also 22 minutes past midnight, so maybe what I should actually do is pay attention to what my second son is turning into. So he's 15 now, which means we need to look at how we're going to finish his education. So he is just, which is nice. He is honest, which is kind of nice. He is zealous, which is good. He's temperate. He is wroth, which is perversely quite good. Like, his backstabbing is terrible. So his current tutor is my wife, Julia. She is Midas touched, which would mean that he would tend to get a lot of state stewardship. Lot of stewardship, rather. Midas touched is +2 martial, +9 stewardship, +2 learning. I think actually that's pretty good for this stage. Like, quite like a bit more diplomacy, but... So the alternative would be to try to get him diplomacy or a martial skill. What are those worth? So martial things get you a bit of stewardship to go along with it. No, I think we're still early enough that money is good. So yes, I think we'll leave him under his current tutelage. So he will come of age shortly. Oops, we are one commander down. Let's fix that. Not that it matters much because we're not at war anyway. Let's recruit a new commander because none of them's any good. Ooh, it's always worth having a siege engineer. Like I'm going to press your claims for you. Let's re-enable Grand Hunts, but I'm not actually going to do anything about the thing. Is it 741? 739, it's gone down a bit. A claim on the Kingdom of Italy, don't want it. There should be an option to renounce it in return for the King of Italy liking me more. On which subject? Why haven't I got an alliance with Italy at the moment? Because Italy is in pieces. Ooh. Huh. No, I was hoping for a... I was hoping that I could declare an embargo war against you, but apparently I can't. So what's happened to Italy, and why don't I have because Alberic has inherited the kingdom, and I didn't ask for an alliance with him. He's probably going to call me into his war now, isn't he? Which, like, wouldn't be too bad. It's all a bit boring at the moment anyway. I think being wounded or maimed is not what I want at this stage. Let's have the piety. Yes, I thought so. I mean, like, I do actually want you to win this war because I want you on my side in future wars, so... What are you doing? You're besieging something already. Or quickly besieging a trade post. Yes, well, besiege that trade post. We'll get some money from it. A new bird has arrived in the Muse, and a new book on the art of writing poetry is in the library. Let us go out hunting. War disrupts our grand hunt. I'm not sure whether this event is actually going to happen. I'm already kind. I'm not diligent. We'll probably survive that. But yes, I think... Now, we've only got 500 troops there. Let's allow that to run as an ordinary siege. Meanwhile... Let's collect my army in Orvieto. The new bird was more aggressive than the ones I'm used to. It killed many rabbits, was unwilling to relinquish its catch. It even attacked me when I tried to pry one away. I don't really wish to become depressed. That's a bad idea. Let's go back. Let's go and try some poetry instead. Let's also slow time down a bit now that we're in war. There's probably a trade post there as well that I could besiege, isn't there? Let's send that fleet round to the other side of the island while that siege is underway. Count Carlos of Chieti has died, passing me 2 counties. That's kind of inconvenient. Let's not do anything about that right now. Revolt has broken out in Gallura. Well, that's foolish of them. I mean, okay, it's kind of inconvenient because I'm going to have to bring everyone back from the... Don't get many liege levies. Let's raise some more of my fleets then. Let's just board as many as we can. those ones presumably won't fit, yes. We have, on the other hand, inherited a ton of money. Let's set that castle building now, then. I should go to bed, but I want to try to get this into a state where it will not confuse me when I come back in 2 weeks' time. Try to work out what we're doing. I'm a little worried given they have that defensive advantage. It certainly didn't go as well as I would have liked. Well, that's nice. My modest attempts at bright poetry were never meant to be published, but wherever I go, bards and minstrels are reciting or singing my poems. +1 diplomacy, same trait opinion, +10. So I'm a gardener and a poet. Thrifty Clark, not so good. 2 points. Still, he might do. He's not going to be that good a ruler, is he? Right, we have defeated the rebels. Let's get, well... Oh, Giuseppe's died as well. This is all getting complicated. So do we bother besieging that? No, because we're not very short of money now. Get that army back on that ship and send them over there. And then disband the ships. Merge those armies. And go, goodness, the current King of Italy is going to lose this. Like, my help is not going to save him. No, that wasn't what I meant. He should have 4,000 troops kicking around. But that plus mine is not going to... be enough to deal with the fact that the revolt has 9,000 troops. like, given he's going to lose, do I really bother helping? Because that will just hurt my troops. If he could win, I want him to win, but I'm his only ally, and he hasn't, even between us, we haven't got enough troops to win this. But maybe I might, no, even then, like, the enemy has 9,000. Even if I bring in all my vassal troops, which are not many, he's got 4,900, and he's had to hire some to get that many. I could have 4,600, though I'm slightly because of course my domain keeps growing. I think I'm going to leave this here because it's going to require some thinking about what I do with this war. Though I suspect the answer is I hide and pretend it never happened. Now meanwhile, and we need to reorganise my vassals because my domain is getting too big. Conveniently, one of the Balearic counties has come back to me because I think I need to keep them in my domain now. Sorry, that one has come back to me. Irritating though that will be from the point of view of getting armies anywhere, because I own the duchy. So that means that these are the ones that I ideally want to start giving away instead, and CK2 of course, but that will happen later. So yes, I think now we should stop and I should go to bed. And we will see you in like almost 2 weeks' time because I'm not going to be around next weekend. So, good night.